So, guys, we continue with our talk about the ultimate guide to love and relationship. And as I mention every session, there is certain things that couples should work on all the time, okay, to maintain the relationship. So they should be working on how to renew love and excitement. And we talked about this part already, how to show acceptance, empathy, and emotional intimacy. And we finished this part too, how to address childhood experiences and differences and the family of origin, address and reflect on differences in personality and temperament. And this is the part we did last session. And today we're going to talk about the differences in spirituality and the values. Okay. But also we in future session, we're going to talk about how to address irrational thoughts and the distorted thoughts about relationship, irrational core beliefs about relationship, how to handle conflict and the communication problems, and how to find common grounds, talk about sexuality, talk about boundaries, talk about parenting, how to keep romance alive, how to experience gratitude in relationship. Also both partners should learn how to let go and apologize and forgive. How are we gonna both cope with the challenges and the loss that happen down the road? How are we gonna share our dreams and the goals for future? So all this stuff you and your partner need to be talking about all the time. At least once a week, have a quick discussion about one of these things. And if you are in a relationship, this is a good time to learn this stuff. And if you are single, it is a good time to prepare for future relationships. Okay. And because these stuff are sometimes sensitive and they trigger feelings and sometimes negative emotions, you need to be, when we talk about this stuff with your partners, you need to be open, respectful, and non-judgmental, and hug and smile and hug each other before and after having this discussion. And try, to put relaxing music and prepare a soothing drink. This is already what we talked about every session. Okay, so we out of this long list, I'm gonna focus on only two things: the spirituality and values. And why I focus on these things today, because we already have been doing this in our groups. And we were talking, like last group, we were talking about spirituality, but we're going to talk today about spirituality in a relationship and how it can be bonding, like a very bonding thing, and how it can be also challenging sometimes. Anyway, if you got my book and you have been reading about the spirituality and the principles that I put in the book and stuff, you'll find that spirituality is different from one person to another. Some people, they connect with the spirituality through religion. Some people, with meditation. Some people with prayers. Some people with spending time in nature. Some people with singing. Some people playing an instrument, choir, attending a church, writing poetry. So when people talk about spirituality, depending on their background, they are completely different. So you will find you and your partner may or may not share same spiritual belief or practices. Okay. Also, you need to know that spirituality, whatever is your definition of spirituality, will it change over time? That's why ongoing dialogue between you and your partner about this stuff is important. Okay, because again, it's gonna change from one time to another. And as I mentioned, religious or spiritual practices can be very bonding, and sometimes can be very challenging, especially in a country like Canada. People coming from different, families, different backgrounds, different cultures, different religious beliefs, and I see it in my practice that it can be challenging sometimes. It's not like my country in Egypt. Like Muslims get married to Muslims, Christian get married to Christian. So you have expectation and assumption already and the Muslims cannot get married to Christian. It is a no in Egypt or most of Middle East countries. So sometimes this is easy because you know what they believe in, you know what you believe in. But here in Canada or Western Canada, it sometimes can be challenging. So that's why a discussion on how we're gonna incorporate spirituality in the family, in our parenting, when we have times of conflict. This is important. And most of us know that spirituality will include, something that give you meaning in life and give you purpose in life. So sharing what gives you meaning and purpose in life is important as part of spirituality. Okay. If you want to learn more about what I'm talking about, get my book from Amazon. I'm going to tell you what I believe in is important for this part of spirituality. But for today, I think couples should, ask each other these questions to get to know their spiritual background. Because again, this will help them to maintain the relationship, also avoid lots of future conflict. So one of the question, and this question will be part of our discussion today. And also I would suggest if you are in a relationship, take this question and have a discussion or a conversation with your partner about this stuff. So the first question is, did your family practice any particular religion? Okay, and why are you asking about the family? Because again, the family of origin and your past will affect your future. So you need to know your partner family practice about religion. And another question, do you think this religion or religious background, did it help or added to the family connectedness, or didn't add to the family connectedness? Another question, how would you define spirituality? How would you define? So again, I told you everyone will have a different definition. So how would you define spirituality? Another question is, do you think it is important for us to practice a religion or incorporate spirituality in our family and into our life? Do you think it is important, this part? Because I personally believe it is, health is a biopsychosocial, spiritual, well-being. So I believe it is important. For others, or even doctors, sometimes they don't believe in this part. It is a biopsychosocial, that's it. Okay. But again, lots of schools, medical school, believe in this model of, therapy and the treatment and health. Another question is, if we have children or we're going to have children, do you want religion or spirituality to be part of our family culture or not? This is an important question. Another question, has there been times in your life when spirituality helped? So if you believe in spirituality and you think it is important, did it help you in your life or not? This is also another question. One other question is, are you tolerant of other people, spiritual beliefs or not? I'm sure some people are not tolerant at all to different religious beliefs. So you ask your partner, are you tolerant to other beliefs or not? Okay. Some of them, most of them, they're gonna tell you, yeah, I'm fine. They are fine with friends who have different religion or different spiritual. They are fine with co-worker who have different spiritual background or religious background. They are fine with neighbors who are Muslims or Christian or Jewish or whatever, the Hindu. They are fine, but they are not fine when their partner have a different religious beliefs. So you need to have a discussion about this stuff, even when you start dating at the beginning, to get to know this person. Another question, do you find me tolerant of others, spiritual, religious? So you ask them, are you tolerant? And they ask them also, do you think I am tolerant to other people or not? Spiritual belief. The last question is, what do these words mean to you? And this is one of the main questions I want you to focus on. Okay, in our discussion, what these words means to you. The word purpose in life, I mean, mindful, truth, love, God, higher power, prayer, meditation. So again, what does these words mean to you? And you will find in our discussion today, the meaning will be different. God, higher power, purpose, prayer, meditation, mindful. The last question is like a general question, is how could partner respect and appreciate their spiritual and religious differences? How could partners respect and appreciate their spiritual and religious differences? So in our this question, I want you to answer all these questions, okay, at home. But for the discussion today, choose only like 3 of them to answer during the discussion for the sake of time. Okay, I will go through these questions again after, I finish this part. Okay, another area that you and your partner need to work on is values. There are important values in life, and most of us would agree on these values. But some people will focus on some of them, or some people will focus on other values. And so give me, what do you mean values, like good values, like empathy, for example, like loyalty, honesty, integrity, kindness, tolerance, courage, success, equanimity, altruism, toughness, self-reliance. You'll find some people like their main focus in life is humility and compassion, for example. For others, no, it is toughness and self-reliance, for example. For others, no, it is the integrity. It is all of them of God, but it is what are the main values that you want to live for? So again, the values are the things that matter to us and also it guide us, okay? Matters to us and guide us. We feel connected with others when we share the same core values. So in general, we connect when we share the same core value. It's important for partners to share the main values to be the same. Again, it's going to bring the question, do you think similarities are important or differences are important in relationship? I believe that similarities should be more than differences, but I still believe that there has to be some differences, okay? Because it's going to create attraction and you complement each other. But again, there has to be, let's say 70% similarities, 80% similarities, 20% differences. Another thing about values, you notice, especially in busy life, sometimes it's too easy to lose sight of what you truly value. So you might be valuing family, and the family is an important thing, and then you find you are working 24-hour every day. So discrepancy between what you do and what you value, it's gonna create emotional pain and psychological problems. So try as much as you can what you say and what you do be based on your values. What you say, what you speak, how you speak, what you talk, when you talk to other people, and what you do be in accordance to your value. That's why we need to slow down periodically and revisit our core values. Again, slow down periodically and revisit our core values. Okay, so values are important, okay? You need to know your values. You need to know your partner values. So you're gonna know that through these questions. So one of the most important questions is, what do you value the most at this point in your life? What do you value the most at this time in your life? Okay. And then, do you think your value has changed when you grown older or when you have grown older? So 10 years ago, you had different values. Now your values have changed. Are there things that you value doing you are not able to do at this time? So this is a discrepancy that I was talking about. Do you have important value that is different from what you're doing now? Okay. Another thing, are your values similar to those of your parent? So is your values the same as your parent or different? Another question, do you think we have similar values? Like you and your partner, do you have similar values or not? Okay. And do you think you together engage in activities that you value or not? Or at least your partner allow you, or the relationship allow you to engage in activities that you values or not? And are there any values that we don't share, or we have different values? This is a question. And then if we have different values, do you feel that I respect your values? Another example, another question is, what are important values for our kids, for future children? What do you think are important values to teach our kids? The last question, is there anything I can do to help you live a value-driven life? Okay, the partner is asking each other, is there something I can do to help you live in according to your values? A general question at the end, what are the important values for couple to live or to live for? What are the important values for couple? I put a list at the beginning. So again, values, you know, what gives meaning to life. Sometimes we lose sight of what we value because life is very busy. That's why we need to slow down every now and then and see what I am doing is really, this is according to my values or not. You know, I have a surprise for you. You know, I notice people struggling. This is just a clinical observation. People struggling with mental health problems and anxiety, depression, addiction. It's very common you ask them what values are important for you, or what values are important to you, and they don't have an answer. Okay, I don't know if this is part of the disease or what. I need to dig more into this area, but sometimes they don't know what values. And I notice people who don't have mental health problems, it's easy to answer this question, what important values? They can tell you, oh, my family is the most important thing. And the connection we create in the family is that, or helping others, or integrity, or honesty. It comes naturally, but for some reason, the people struggle psychologically. They need to think about this question, work on it, find certain values that they need to focus on or work on. So these questions are important, you know. Again, you need to know yourself before knowing your partner. So what do you value most at this point in your life? And did your values change it over time or not? And are there things that you have value or you value doing, but you are not doing because life is busy or the relationship is not helping you to do? And are your values is different from your parent values? Do you think you and your partner have similar values or different values? Okay, and does the relationship you are in now is helping you to engage in activities that goes according to your values or not? Okay. Another question, do you think your partner respect your values? And for future, if you're going to have kids or you have kids already, what, you know, what healthy values that is important for them? Last question is, what do you think your partner should do to help you live? Because sometimes, you know, you're doing something, it's not according to your values, and we ask you, okay, what we're going to do now? You don't know. Okay, so think about it. How are you going to live a life is value-driven life? Last question is, what are important values for couples to live for? So out of all these questions, you know, let's choose 3 that you're going to discuss with us. If you want to be, it's not, you don't want to be personal, you want to just general, you tell us, you know, what are important values for couples. So out of this list, choose 3. The same thing from the other list, which is about spirituality, choose 3 questions. You know, how did your family practice religion, or did they have a particular religion? Tell me if religion was adding to family connectedness or not. How do you define spirituality? Do you think it is important as a family to incorporate spirituality or not? You will be surprised how different everyone will be talking about this stuff. When I came to Canada, you know, and I started talking to patients, I was very, you know, surprised by how unique and different everyone when they talk about spirituality. Another question about the kids. Do you think you're going to teach them something like religious or spiritual or not? Do you think spirituality was important, helped you in your life when you have difficulty in your life? Are you tolerant to others' spiritual beliefs? Don't tell me you are tolerant of co-worker friends. I'm talking about, are you going to be tolerant to your partner spiritual belief or not? And do you think your partner is tolerant to your belief or not? And the last question, which I would love to see everyone answering, what these words mean to you: purpose, mindful, meditation, truth, love, God, higher power, prayer. Another question, how could partner respect and appreciate their spiritual and religious differences? Again, out of this list, choose 3 that you would like to share in this discussion. But I would suggest after the end of this session, like spend some time to answer all of them. You know, it doesn't matter you are in a relationship or not. I believe you need to answer all these questions. I'll give you 5 minutes to think about this stuff. Then Brooklyn will run the discussion.